Hey everyone, this video is basically meant for anyone that maybe doesn't have a lot of piano experience. Like if you're basically if you heard the Nina Simone thing, you've heard me sort of hype up that you're going to have to play the Nina Simone thing at some point. And if you heard it and you're like, I think that'll be really easy to play, I've heard a bunch of things like that, I can play that in my sleep, then you don't have to continue watching this video. If you listen to it and you're like, oh my god, Mark, I really have never played piano at all before, how do you expect me to do that? Well, obviously it will take some practice, but I wanted to give you a few things to kind of work on that might sort of help with that, or at least sort of show you a couple of pointers. One, before getting into the specifics of the Nina Simone "Wish I Knew How It Feels to Be Free" thing, I think there's one thing that you can work on, that you can do in both hands, but especially in your left hand, that I think is really, really great. I know for me, the one thing that I wish I took more seriously when I was younger is having accurate piano fingering technique. I kind of used to just play chords and not really care, like how, I just use any finger as long as the note came out right, then I'd be fine. And it wouldn't really matter. The problem is when you have to read and play things in time, if you're kind of just like, there's a lot of different strategies to piano fingering, but if you're not being really conscious about like what finger you're using for each note and what position you're in, it can just be, it can slow the process of learning new piano music down. So one thing that I notice with piano stuff is that a lot of times, especially with bass related stuff, you're dealing with things like 2-5-1s, a lot of intervals of fourths and fifths, and a lot of things that have to do with octaves. So one thing that you can practice is if you take your time with a metronome or something like that, set it to somewhere around here. I should have grabbed the metronome before I started filming this video, but if we do something like this, and there's basically two things that I'm going to do in this exercise. I'm going to use my thumb, my left hand, to play middle C. Then I'm going to stretch my hand to get an octave. I look at basically a closed hand position as a fifth, right? Now, obviously you can close way too much and get a fourth, but I'm kind of trying to memorize exactly what the closed hand position is that exactly equals about a fifth. Something like that. Then when I stretch my hand, I want to get used to finding the spot for what an octave is. Like that, right? So basically, obviously, if I stretch, depending on how big your hands are, that is, like if I stretch my hand out, I could go longer than an octave. So you kind of have to just use your muscle memory, just like you were on guitar or bass or saxophone or any instrument, really, just to memorize the spot for what an octave and what a fifth is. So this exercise, if you're kind of going down the piano, if you set a metronome to about here, maybe try in all half notes, or whatever tempo is comfortable to you, go octave, fifth, like this. Stretch, close, stretch, close, stretch, close, stretch, close, and so on and so forth. And if that gets easy, and start on a different note, 3, 4. Oh, and the other thing I should say before I keep going is that what you can't see, because I want to show what my hand looks like on the video, is that I'm not looking. I'm closing my eyes right now. I'm memorizing exactly what an octave and what a fifth is. That's important. If you're looking, it's not very hard. But if you're not, it can be tough. But you will get used to it. I don't know if you could see that, but eventually when you get to B flat, you have to switch from the black keys to the white keys, so you kind of have to know when that's coming. And you do get used to that as well. And eventually, of course, work your way up faster. And then, this can be a really good exercise just for getting yourself used to the kind of things your left hand is going to do when you're playing the piano. So, And you know, obviously not everything is going to be an octave or a fifth, but if you have a fifth under your, if you can grab a fifth really quickly, you can also grab a second if you use your second finger, a third if you use your third finger, a fourth or a sharp four or a flat three or a flat two, and everything in between. So you kind of want to make sure you're not doing things like this when you're playing bass notes or using two strong fingers or anything like that. You want to use your whole hand at different times. So this to me is just one quick little exercise. That going in fifths and octaves thing is something you can do that only takes about 3 minutes a day to get used to, and kind of eventually becomes very, very easy. So if you've never played any piano before, I would highly, highly recommend doing that. That'll be really helpful for your reading. And there's more places we can go from there once you're good at that. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Now, when it comes to the Nina Simone thing, you've already transcribed the ending. So can you see my hand there? Let's see. No, you can't. I'm just gonna move the camera a little bit to my left hand. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to make a new video. I'll see you in a second.